So anyway, we are going to be talking about how to increase your ROI now as opposed to waiting later. And the reason this is so important is 2020, March, I believe it was March 13th is when it all happened of 2020. We all learned a very valuable lesson. And that is everything can change in a blink of an eye. Like I remember where I was at the moment we all got the call that the whole world shut down. Like, do you remember where you were at when you got that call and the whole world shut down? And how many people did this impact? Like, if you want to go down to Hollywood and like, this is the stuff they're not going to show you on TV. Go down to Hollywood, go up to San Francisco and see what has happened with the homeless rate. It has gone through the roof. It is out of control, right? And of course, they're not going to show you that stuff on TV. The reason I say that is because how many people got totally blindsided when the world got shut down. And this is why I'm doing everything that I can to support people, because there's some messages out there that are saying some other things are coming, and I want to do everything I can to support you, because 2020 and 2021 were some of my greatest years, and 22 has been a great year as well for me. So I want to do everything I can to prepare as people to step into their greatness. And the way that you can do that is learning how to collapse time. Now you're like thinking, Jeff, what do you mean? How do you collapse time? The way you collapse time is you start figuring out how to leverage what it is that you have inside of you and doing everything you can to monetize it. And there's some things that can happen to support you in doing that. And this is why I am doing this ROI Accelerator Challenge. The banner's down here on the bottom. And if you have not signed up for it, you are really missing out on one of the most incredible things that it is by far, hands down, the most incredible training I've ever done. I've trained for many network marketing companies. I've trained for many corporations, coach 7, 8, 9, 6, 7, 8, 9 figure income earners, some of the biggest network marketers out there, pastors, lawyers, doctors. And I have found there's some commonalities in every threshold that holds people back. One of them is that, like, if the biggest expense, this is the biggest expenses we as humans contend with. And if you don't know what that biggest expense is, then I submit to you that because you don't know what it is, the very fact that you don't know what it is puts you in a very vulnerable place. And the number one expense is what you don't know. And there are many things that people spend a lot of time doing, and they only have a certain amount of bandwidth. And this is why they're stressed. This is why they worry. This is why they're overwhelmed. This is why they're exhausted, is because they do not know how to manage their energy, right? And literally what I teach my clients and students is profit is knowing how to manage your energy. And once you know how to do that, then you know what you need to look at in order for you to step into a greater version of who you are. Because the statistics are everywhere, friends. I don't need to be telling you that 85% of lottery winners file bankruptcy within 5 years. I don't need to tell you 9 out of 10 businesses fail in the first 5 years. Like, all of these statistics prove one thing and one thing only, is people do not know how to manage their inner world. This is the most important thing when it comes to expanding what it is that you want to create within your life. So being able to understand how to increase your ROI. So most entrepreneurs, most people that have any exposure in the business world understand that ROI means return on investment. But see, what they don't understand is what is it that they've been investing every nanosecond of their life into, and that is literally yourself, right? And when it comes time for people to expand and to create new things, the thing that they don't understand is everything that they're going to create is going to be based on their internal world. And so if you can learn how to collapse time by getting the things out of the way that are literally standing in the way of preventing you, like we all have heard self-sabotage, we've all heard of the imposter syndrome, we've all heard of these things, but understanding, hearing about them and really understanding how they came to be, and that there are literally parts of you that are wanting to keep you playing small, that are serving you. They're literally serving you. And until you can figure out until you figure out how it's serving you, it's going to keep doing it, right? Because it believes it's serving you, right? And once you understand how the subconscious works, once you understand how every one of your programs got created, and then you get to be the person that ends up creating the programs that are aligned with what it is that you really want to create, that's when magic happens. That's when freedom happens. Freedom is being able to do what you want, when you want, how you want, with who you want, as often as you want. That's what true freedom is. And see, everything that we do as entrepreneurs, as influencers, as creators, teachers, whatever it is, right? We are looking for peace. right? Like this is the ultimate thing that we all want to experience as human beings is we want to have a peace. But if you don't have the strategies and know how to create that, then you're going to spend a life that is like you can put the percentage on it of whether you feel fulfilled or not. Because when you, the things that people regret, these are all things that we all know, we all hear, but it's putting it in context of the thing that people regret the most when they are sitting on, lying on their deathbed, ready to pass. It's not the things that they did. They regret the things that they didn't do. So that's my mission, is to get people to step into their greatness, to understand the value of a true ROI. So my true ROI is, the R is for you to remember, to remember the superhuman ability that you had before you got conditioned, all these things that have kept you playing at the level that you're kept playing at. There's no judgment value in saying, there's no judgment in saying, like, if you're good where you're at, good on you. I applaud that, right? If you know that there's something within you that wants more, that wants to create more, that knows that there's more possibility, there's more potential in who you are, then sign up for the ROI Accelerator Challenge, because I'm going to teach you how to remember your superhuman ability, to literally rewrite your past, right? Because what we end up doing, we've all heard of perception, but we haven't heard of proception. Proception is literally projecting out into your future as a result of something that has happened in your past. I show you how to change that, right? The other part is the O in the ROI is to optimize, being able to create the different domains in your life so that they're all aligned and congruent, so that you can effectively and efficiently create what it is that you want in your life. Because friends, understand, your greatest desire is also your greatest fear. So you understand that, then you're going to be able to stand in the gap. So this is where you're at, this is where you want to be. There's a gap that you get to go through in order to manifest what it is that you want to create, right? And the I is for you to be able to influence yourself so that you can keep moving through this gap of the unknown that we all have to go through when we start expanding, right? It's we all hear get comfortable with the uncomfortable, which is an oxymoron. Like get familiar with the uncomfortable, or get familiar with the unfamiliar. These are oxymorons. What I tell people is get familiar with the uncomfortable. Every single time you grow, you expand, you step outside of your comfort zone, guess what? You're going to feel uncomfortable. Why? Because your primal part of your brain is going to access primal programs that you developed when you were a child. And how risk was accepted when you were a child has everything to do with what you're going to access when you step out into the unknown. We have to grow if we are going to go beyond where we're at now. And in order for us to grow, guess what? That also means that parts of us have to die, right? So this is what the ROI Accelerator is all about, is you being able to influence yourself so that you can stay engaged and stay committed in the uncomfortableness, right? Because friends, understand, we don't get what we want, we get what we are committed to. We don't get what we want. This is why goals don't work. Like for some people, goals do work, right? But understand that there's things that are driving us at a much deeper level that if we're not aware of what those are, then we're not going to understand. Like some people set goals so that they can validate that they're not able to achieve the goals, and they can keep confirming that lie that they were conditioned to believe, that you're never going to create anything, right? That's what I'm saying, is the negativity is going to keep serving you until you figure out how it is serving you. What is the benefit that I get out of this negativity? Like, why do people stay in relationships that are obviously not aligned with their higher self? Why do they stay in those relationships? Why is it that people eat obviously unhealthy for themselves? Why is it that people treat other people the way they treat them, and it's obvious that they're not getting the results that somebody would do in order for them to feel connected and appreciated and loved and supported and all that stuff? Why do they do it? Because they believe this is what they need to do in order for them to get a predictable outcome, right? Because there's a part of us that loves to have certainty. But see, until they get out, for me, like being an iron-coated marshmallow is what I used to tell myself. Why was it that I treated people the way I treated them? Is because it confirmed what I truly believed about who I was, right? Like what I just said there is massively, massively important. So this is what we're going to unpack going through the ROI Accelerator Challenge, because see, friends, understand like this, like you've all been around housing developments, right? And now what they're doing is they're buying big plots of land and they're going in there and building all kinds of houses. And what's happening is these companies are getting sued because these houses are literally getting cracks in the wall, cracks in the ceiling, things like that. Why? Because they didn't let the concrete cure. They didn't let the concrete cure. So they didn't get down and deal with the fundamental issue of laying concrete, allowing that concrete to cure in the gestation period or the curation period that it has to go through in order for it to be solid, and you can start building a foundation on it. You can go out and buy all the programs that you want to buy. You can go learn all the strategies that you want to learn about creating products, creating businesses, creating marketing, whatever it is. But if you're not dealing with your internal operating system, it doesn't matter what program you put on top of it. It's not going to operate to its fullest potential. Why? Because it's not integrated with you're literally created an inner civil war if you are putting things on top of an operating system that is not aligned and congruent with. Okay, so this is my mission, is to get people to wake up, because the other thing, friends, understand what I'm about to tell you right now is mission is so important. The media's job. This is the media's job. Now, you can believe me. I would encourage you not to believe me. I would encourage you to do your own research, right? When 9/11 happened, there was a magical moment in media. And that magical moment, well, for some people, the media thought it was magical because they really found out what was the driver that kept people's attention. When 9/11 happened, the media figured out that people love negative news. People do everything they can to protect themselves from getting hurt. This is what 9/11 proved to everybody. Like, oh my gosh, I have to stay focused on this so I can protect myself. Well, from that point on, guess what? Everything that they've done is that they have learned how to stir emotions inside of you so that you are going to look to the television for the answer so that you get to protect yourself, right? This is what friends understand. There are consumer engineers, and their whole job is to get people to consume more, right? And if you want to believe that that's not true, then you do you, right? But understand, this is how Hitler was created. This is how and why they are controlling what people perceive, right? If they can control what you perceive, they can control what you believe. If they can control what you believe, they can control how you behave, right? And so this is why it is so important. This is why I've said so many times, if you don't understand influence, it is being used on you, right? This is why it's my mission, is to get people to understand how you are being seduced into staying in unresourceful states within your life, right? This is what the ROI Accelerator Challenge is all about, because what determines how fast you get through something, accelerate through a process, is your resistance to it. But if we're not conscious of what it is that we resist because of how we hold it or characterize it or label it, then we have some things in our life that, see, friends, I want you to understand something. It is not that you're unresourceful. It's that you get into states that are automatic that make you believe that you're not resourceful. Okay. And in the ROI Accelerator Challenge, like, I show you step by step on where you're at, what it is that has created where you're at, and given you the tools and the resources so that you get to change the past programs and patterns and things like that that you've had in the past, so that you can clean that up, and then you get to be who you were meant to be, so that then you can create what it is that you truly want to create, right? But until you get in touch with what is really going on in your internal world, you are building things on an unstable foundation, right? And this is why 85% of lottery winners file bankruptcy within 5 years of winning the lottery. Why? Because it was a sudden growth. See, there are parts of your life that are going on right now that are spending your bandwidth, that you are concerned about, that you think about, that really you are literally entangled into that, and you are owned by those certain things that are happening in your life. And because that's happening, your energy is going to something that is not serving you and getting you to create the way you're meant to create. So when you learn how to pull your energy back from that, and then focus more on who it is that I get to be to create what it is that I want to create, then a whole new possibility starts happening, right? Friends, you have already created incredible things within your life, and we just take it for granted because there's reasons we take it for granted, is because they don't want us to believe that we are capable of creating certain things and making amazing things happen. What if, I want you to think about this, what if failure was not an option? What if failure wasn't an option? And actually, failure is just a lie, and I can prove that to you, right? It opened my eyes to how I was just going through the motions of life. Yes, most people get by to get along, right? And understanding, when you are starting to step into your greatness, you're going to start facing things that are going to require a different version of you, right? This is the jam of life. Like, this is living. Living is facing the things that you don't want to face. And the reason you don't want to face them is because there's certain aspects of you that made you believe that it's not possible for you, right? So we have these adult figures, authority figures, when we were growing up as children, that literally created these programs that run 75% of our life. And then by the time we're 35, 90 to 95% of our life is automatic. So we're just firing all these thoughts and emotions and programs and not even having to use any bandwidth to really look at what's going on in our lives. But in the ROI Accelerator Challenge, I show you how to get conscious of this stuff, because the most important thing is you are not your thoughts. You are not your awareness. You are not your programs. You are not your beliefs. You are not your morals. You are your awareness. You are your awareness. And so my task is to get people to understand what they truly are, and then from there make choices out of agency rather than choosing out of desperation, right? Once you're in that place, magical things happen. Okay, so I encourage you. I challenge you. I challenge you. This is probably the best challenge you'll ever have in your life, that you go sign up for the ROI Accelerator Challenge, and we'll be doing it Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this weekend. And if you are not absolutely blown away, I will give you double back whatever it is that you invested. I challenge you to challenge me on that, right? Because I have all kinds of evidence of the people that have gone through it and what it has done for them. I could spend hours just talking about the conversations that I've had with people and watching what these students are able to do once they've gone through this. It's miraculous. Like, I'm not saying that about me. I just understand that this is the stuff that's worked on my life. Like, I come from dirt poor, broken family, massive abuse, molestation, drug addiction, alcoholism, almost killed my sister because of my own drinking, like wanting to kill myself. And like, my car wreck was my greatest failure, right? Like, I did not want to live to be 25 years of age. Like, that's where I come from. Gangs, like crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. And here I am today. Like, I've learned some things to transition and transform these limiting beliefs in a way that just absolutely catapult people into whole other dimensions. And it's not like massive shifts, just like I think it's Jim Collins that wrote From Good to Great. It's just like tiny little tweaks. Like, I had one client, been to therapy 30 years, created many, many, many successful business, got like 60, 70 business awards, and still had these things within her that was still struggling with her. Had one session with me. I was able to accomplish what nobody was able to do in 30 years of therapy. Again, that's not about me. It's me understanding of looking at what is it that's standing in the way, that's holding you back, and showing you how to find this within yourself. And once it does, it's magical. So if you're not willing to invest into the ROI Accelerator Challenge and learn literally what's standing in your way and create the future that you really want for yourself, friends, I mean, I can only show up and give you the opportunity. I can't make you invest into your life, because and if this is where most people go with this, well, I can't afford it. And if you're looking at you can't afford it, you can't afford not to do it, because you're looking at it as an expense rather than an investment. Right. And yet we'll go out and we'll pay bills and we'll stress about paying rent. We'll stress about paying our cars and all this stuff and burning up all our energy rather than figuring out how to invest in ourselves so that we get to create the life that we want to create. Okay. Are you spending energy, or are you investing energy into you becoming a better version of who you are? Right. I even want to take it again. Yeah, I mean, it's magical what's happening. Like, there's a gal that I just had one of the students I had a conversation with yesterday. We've been dialoguing over some things that she wants to create. It blows my mind when you start getting the filters out of the way of what people are capable of creating, right? And case in point, if your child's life depended on you creating your dreams, if your child's life depended on you creating your dreams, then you would know what to focus on, and your dreams would all of a sudden begin to manifest, right? But what if you took that same commitment, that same kind of drive, and you attached it to your dreams and going, I am not ever going to stop going after my dreams because I want to know what it means to live a fulfilled life. Right? That's what it means to step into a whole other level of it. Again, it's not that you're not resourceful. It's that you have been conditioned to believe that you're not resourceful. I'm going to show you how to eradicate all that stuff. Right? So whatever I think it's $27 or $67 or whatever it is for to do this 3-day challenge. And I would encourage you to do the VIP version of it because you get the group coaching. My friends, people pay me $2,000 an hour. Like that's what I charge somebody if they want a one-on-one session for 1 hour. $2,000. You have an opportunity to spend 3 days with me and then have group coaching and ask me any question that you want to ask me and have little tiny tweaks that could literally take your 2023 to a place that you don't even see as possible yet. Okay. So I encourage you to be there, my friend. And until then, I hope you have an amazing evening. I appreciate you spending your time with me. Yeah, I totally blew it coming on here. Like just having fun creating what I'm creating. So I appreciate each and every one of you being. I sincerely do. I appreciate you spending your time with me because you'll never get this time back. So I want to do everything I can to deliver the value so that it makes an impact in your life and you're able to take away a nugget that could literally be the catalyst that creates a whole new universe. So I appreciate you, my friend. I love each and every one of you. I mean that. When I say that, like I'm sending out vibes of like, I just love that you show up and that you spend your valuable time with me. And I want to do everything I can to support you in creating the life that you really want. So if you haven't signed up for it yet, I would really, really encourage you to do that so I can really show you some of the goods because I can't change your life in 20-minute conversation on here. This is a whole thing, a whole system that I put together that is designed to support you, to empower you to look at things in a completely different way. So I appreciate you again. And as always, when I sign off, and I mean this with all my heart because it's been my journey, live like your life depends on it because it does. Live your dream like your dream's life depends on it. That's what I mean when I say that. So appreciate you. Have a great night, and I'll see you soon. Be blessed.